Hey folks, this is just a tutorial on how you can use the classroom that we've got going for multicultural literature. We will be using this platform throughout the entire term, and you'll be visiting it every single day. So it's really going to be important that you figure out how to navigate Classroom as well as interacting with your classmates on Classroom. So I'm going to take a couple minutes and we're just going to go through what our classroom looks like. So up here in your drop down, you have the list of all of your classes that you are currently in charge of and the ones that you are enrolled in. So yours is going to look a little bit different than mine, but if you just click on multicultural literature, that'll take you to us. What I want you to do first is take a look at the stream. The stream is where we are going to talk every single day with a class discussion. You'll notice that we've already done so many, and they do range anywhere in topic from like how do you feel about a character that we're reading about to what kind of biases you see in your own thinking. So the main thing I want you to think about when you are filling out these class discussions is how are you really taking it back to the text when it is a text-based question, like this one right here for November 13th, which of Antonio's parents is most insightful? So I really want you to take it back to the text. That's going to be most important. And then also when it is a question that is a little bit wider scope, I want you to think about what kind of things you can add to the discussion so that it is not just um, you parroting back what other people are saying. So, for example, this one right here from November 8th, how does incorporating magical realism into a story develop aspects of community, identity, or culture? This doesn't have to be specifically text-based. This Jackson's answer here is not text-based. It's not connected to Bless Me Ultima, but it's still a great response. And finally, the last thing I really want you to think about is interacting with your peers. There are a lot of us in the class. We have 25 people. Well, we actually have 30 people enrolled in the class. And I don't want this just to be a void where your answers go. I want you to interact with each other. So try to make sure that you are hitting the reply button a few times every week. And our stream will update regularly every single day. So now that we've got that figured out, let's go ahead and look at classwork. So the classwork section, I've tried to be as organized as possible. And these are all of the topics that we're covering in our class. So the first thing that we did was bias and setting tone. These links and materials are in here to help you make sure that you understand how your implicit bias affects the way that you think, and just to help you consider other ideas than maybe what you just thought the day that you stepped into this class. So hopefully maybe you've had an opportunity to expand your ideas. And then, there are going to be different kinds of articles linked in here that I'm going to have you guys read and take a look at. Anytime it takes you to something outside of our classroom, you just have to go back to our classroom. Make sure that if I do assign an assignment that you turn it in. You'll notice here that only 16 were turned in, so we need to make sure that we're all turning everything in. This section on the left-hand side, other topics include what we've done with Persepolis. So this is just a little bit of information about Persepolis and the Iranian Revolution. When we did Bless Me Ultima, here are different kinds of things that we talked about with setting and how setting worked out. The thing that is important here is that I only had one person from each group turn it in, so of course it's not all turned in. But I did go ahead and get those from the 7 groups that went through, or the 5 groups, actually, there were 5 groups of 6. So I had a couple of duplicates here. And then finally, your author presentations. This is how you'll be graded on your author presentations. Everyone's doing one. Everyone's taking the reins with one author. So make sure that you take a look at this rubric before you do your author presentation. A lot of you have chosen to do slides, Google Slides, and that's fine. But make sure that you are really, that you're really thinking about your visual aid and how it can be the most effective. And then finally, the last thing I want to go over with you is your pensays. This is your pensay. I'm not asking you to turn in the pensay, but what I do want you to do is make a copy of this so that when you turn it in, you're thinking about these questions. So this is a sample pensay that gives you an idea of how you should begin jumping off with your pensays, as well as the correct MLA format. So really, that's what you are going to need to pay attention to with multicultural literature in our class. So specifically just the stream and anything that comes up in classwork. Certainly you can talk to the people in our class and check your grades, but I really want us to focus on the stream and the classwork content. And just remember that everything that is important or grouped by topic is going to be here on the left. The rest of the stuff at the top here is something that you will be looking at kind of on a regular daily basis, whether it be the syllabus or the tentative schedule. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, reach out to me, come talk to me during math time. I am happy to help.